Dueling Dialogues is brought to you by our affiliates at IX Web Hosting. Click the banner on the rightleftchronicles.com to get up to 40% off your first year of the best hosting on the planet. Today's episode of Dueling Dialogue is brought to you by Saucy Eva. GMA's marinade is coming soon to a plate near you to gourmetize your meats and proteins. Coming to you from that once-forgotten artery that pulses through the center of the continental United States and into the heart of the Ozarks, Grace Matthews. Looking in from the northern border, our Canadian friend, along with his countrymen feeling the effects of U.S. political issues, Connor Murphy.
Welcome to Dueling Dialogue, episode 45. I'm Connor Murphy here with Grace Matthews all the way in Springfield, Missouri. Hi, Grace. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. You know, it's a little bit dark and gloomy here, but, otherwise doing great.
It's a little bit that way here. I think it's supposed to rain, but hasn't happened yet, so who knows?
Yeah, so what do we got for today?
Oh, my goodness. Things are really shaking up over at NBC.
Oh.
As of apparently last night, Matt Lauer has been fired. And they are using that word. They haven't said he was resigned or that they came to some sort of agreement.
Oh, wow.
He has been fired for, NBC's calling it sexual misbehavior. Other sources are calling it sexual assault. The specific woman they're talking about now came forward to NBC. She is an employee of NBC on Monday night with her attorney. They say that she gave a detailed report of events and a situation that took place during the 2014 Winter Olympics. She gave accounts that make them believe that other women are coming forward.
Wow.
In about 35 hours after she came to the boardroom, I guess, and told of her experience, Matt Lauer, the brand for the Today Show, the face of the brand, is gone.
That is crazy. I didn't hear anything about this.
Yeah. Apparently, his co-host didn't hear anything about it. Savannah Guthrie, his co-host this morning, when she reported what she knew, she was nearly in tears. She was sad for him. I didn't really see that she was necessarily sad for the victim. She kind of backtracked a little bit, but and clearly shocked.
Wow.
Now, you can only guess, was it because of him or because of what he represented to the brand? She was on the air with Hoda, who's usually in like the fourth hour with Kathy Lee Gifford.
Right.
Hoda had a face that really, to me, was not shocked. Was not really that sad. I know others have said so, and I've watched it a couple of times, and I don't see it. I mean, I'm not surprised about his behavior. I'm surprised that Andy Lack made such a decision about Matt Lauer.
Right.
Matt Lauer has been there since the mid-90s. He started out as the newsreader. He quickly became the co-host when Bryant Gumbel left. It's amazing that they reacted so quickly. So my guess is it is horrible. There has not been a statement from Matt Lauer or Matt Lauer's attorneys, which is shocking because you would think he would be trying to defend himself. Most of these guys have put out some sort of statement pretty quickly.
Wow. Swift justice this time.
It is. It is. And the Today Show's advertising alone is worth $500 million a year.
Oh, wow.
In fact, those that understand Comcast's business, Comcast is the company that owns NBC, they claim that the Today Show really is what the rest of the news and such depends on to function. Matt also was the commentator for the Macy's Day Parade, the Olympics.
Yeah, big face of everything America.
I thought he was great in the 90s when he was reading the news, and he was all cute and everything. I did think he could kind of be a jerk.
Yeah, I didn't really watch him enough to know.
Well, their show's bad timing for you.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, unless they like re-show it there. I don't know. Do they re-show it?
I have no idea.
More appropriate time?
Yeah, I have no idea. My TV's never really on anything except playing music. So I've missed this for sure.
Well, and it's not the first time that Matt Lauer has been under fire. You know, there's been a lot of reports, I have no idea whether they're true or not, about his cocaine use. NBC certainly shoved that under the table, dismissed it, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Katie Couric, back in 2012, complained that Matt Lauer pinched her rear often, many times. Nobody seemed to care about that.
Wow.
Then there's the debacle with Ann Curry. You know, Ann Curry gets promoted after Meredith Vieira leaves, and she's removed from her position in less than a year. And she was really treated quite mean. According to New York Magazine, they would play pranks on her there, like move personal items out of her office and put it in a closet. So like when she walked in, she thought she had been fired.
Oh, like mean jokes.
They would make fun of her clothing she chose to wear on the air. Matt Lauer did not like her at all.
Wow.
According to a source that reported this to the New York Magazine, the fundamental reason Carrie got the job had nothing to do with either her ambition or what the men who ran Today thought. Lauer's contract was set to expire at the end of 2012, and there was considerable uncertainty about whether he wanted to stay at Today. If Vieira left and Curry was passed over again, she could exercise her right to run to a competitor. Then if Lauer left a year later, Today risked existential crisis. It might have sounded like a paranoid chain reaction, but it was also a terrifying possibility. Curry had to stay in case Lauer didn't. So the minute Matt signed his contract, and they also gave him a signing bonus, Curry was fired. And many people remember her tearful last day on the set.
Wow.
It was very sad. Nevertheless, they called this Operation Bambie because one of the assistants said that if they told executive producer Jim Bell if he were to get rid of Ann Curry, it would be like getting rid of Bambie. So the move to get rid of Ann Curry became Operation Bambie.
Wow.
They celebrated the day they fired her with a dinner at one of the fancy restaurants, even fancy for them, not just us.
Yeah.
And the next day they gave the job to Savannah Guthrie. My guess is, you know, I'm sure everybody's asking what the heck is going to happen. My guess is they're going to be like other news agencies lately in the midst of this. And I don't see a guy getting the co-host job. I see them giving it to a female because of the liability.
Yeah.
But for NBC to act like this is shocking is just hogwash. If you'll remember a few months ago when Andy Lack hired Megyn Kelly, not only hired her, but decided he was going to put her on the third hour of the Today Show, Matt Lauer threw a fit because he had not been told. In the past, when Matt Lauer was in the good graces of the show, they would have never failed to tell him.
Right.
I think they knew then there was trouble with a big D.
Google Katie Couric and you see reports back from 2012 and nothing was done about anything then.
No, nothing at all. And that was because he was worth a lot of money. You've got to also know that Matt Lauer had a close relationship with Harvey Weinstein. Now, Andy Lack and other suits at NBC have been accused of hiding the story about Harvey Weinstein. They knew about it before anybody else.
Wow.
So they've been under a lot of fire for that.
I'd say. Well deserved.
Things have not been great for Andy Lack.
Yeah, I wouldn't want his job right now.
Well, Andy Lack came there. Remember when Brian Williams got caught lying about being under fire in, was it Iraq?
Yeah.
And so they made him take 6 months off or something, and they put him on MSNBC, which really seems to me would have been worse than being fired, but I don't know. That's just me. Anyway, that was when they brought Andy Lack in.
Yeah.
Andy Lack has reportedly been very close to Brian Williams for years. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, the president was weighing in on this today.
Oh, I'm sure he had something to say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, really, here's his tweet. So now that Matt Lauer is gone, when will the fake news practitioners at NBC be terminating the contract of Phil Griffin?
Wow.
And will they terminate low ratings Joe Scarborough based on the unsolved mystery that took place in Florida years ago? Investigate, he says. Well, okay. So Joe Scarborough was a congressman, a Republican congressman. Okay, I say that because now since Trump's been elected, he's given up his status as a Republican and become a bona fide independent because he hates Trump so much now. And you have to know that him and Trump were friends years ago. Okay. In fact, at the beginning of this election, they were friends. So something happened along the way, but I digress. When Scarborough was a congressman in Florida, he had an office in the Panhandle at Fort Walton.
Okay.
An intern, 28 years old, was found dead in the office.
Huh.
Now, a month later, the coroner claimed that she had died from a head injury, but he believed that her heart had, she had some sort of angina or some sort of heartbeat issue, passed out, hit her head on the desk, and it was actually the injury from the desk that killed her. Okay.
Right.
Okay, but it got me to thinking, okay? Joe Scarborough now has Morning Joe, the show on MSNBC,
okay,
along with Mika. He and Mika are co-hosts and have been for some time. It does have very low ratings. The interesting thing about Morning Joe is that it gets a lot of viewership from DC proper.
Okay.
So they sort of cater to that crowd, that DC crowd. That's probably the only thing that's kept them on the air.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Nevertheless, Joe's been married a couple times, and Mika was married during the show, and they reportedly have had an affair for a long time and are engaged. Now, you have to wonder, did they violate the sexual harassment, sexual conduct code of NBC? They're now, engaged. Are we to believe that they've never touched each other, talked about inappropriate things, or slept together?
Yeah, no. Huh.
And when is somebody going to bring that up?
Very interesting.
Especially, co-workers.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it until something goes sideways and the arguments begin.
Well, and that's true. That is really true. But also, Andy Lack made a big deal about the ethics clause, I guess, in the handbook at NBC.
Right.
Not only the code of ethics, but, the behavioral code. What's acceptable, what's not. And supposedly it's very clear at NBC.
Right.
So how can Joe Scarborough and Mika continue to not be held to the same standard as everyone else?
Yeah, I don't get it. I guess there's no easy answer to that.
There isn't, but it worries me for other men. Okay, now what's going to take place in private companies? I always say this worries me because I have 3 sons,
right.
And I hate for them to get broadsided.
Yeah, all it takes to advance your career is to point a finger and say, he touched me.
Exactly, yeah. And that's scary.
Wow.
I find it very scary, and I also find it a little frightening that some of these are being done so quickly without investigation.
Right.
Now, Andy Lack claimed that in Matt Lauer's case, it was so egregious and the information was so detailed that it was not questionable, and like I said, at the same time, he knew that the Washington Post and the New York Times was getting ready to break a story about Matt Lauer with several women. Okay, so we now know that.
Right.
So Andy Lack was not totally transparent.
Right.
That's not really all that surprising. But I do think, and yesterday we talked about the fact that a certain type of personality behavior gravitates towards these jobs.
Well, they're all A-type personalities that all come with big egos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those egos are not, it's even a step beyond big ego. It is a power that comes with this entitlement.
Right.
They are entitled to cross the line. And I say they don't just cross the line in a sexual manner. They do in all sorts of manners. Many of them are overlooked.
Yeah.
My guess is that they cross the line in what they expect from subordinates. Zimmerman, Matt Lauer's booking agent, was just removed from, we reported on that yesterday.
Yeah.
Was removed from the Today Show just last week.
Right.
Now, he was very trusted employee of Matt Lauer's.
Yeah. Huh.
He had first began as Matt Lauer's booking agent and became that for the whole franchise. Probably in a lot of ways because Matt Lauer was the Today Show, and everything Today Show he believed was his business.
Right.
We can't forget, too, that this is another friend of Hillary's. Hillary seems to gravitate towards these men that have egregious habits of sexually harassing women.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to go back to Wiener.
Yeah. Wiener, Weinstein, there's a pattern here.
I mean, it's almost like Hillary's one of the good boys.
Yeah.
Where is it? But yet she says she is for women. Is she one of them? Does she feel that women are subordinate to her, just like these men do? She has something really in common with them.
Which explains the pantsuit.
It always goes back to the pantsuit for you, doesn't it? But you know what? I can't argue with that. Her personality is like one of these guys.
Yeah. It's like a pantsuit.
It is. It's just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, there's just so many connections, little connections here and there, and it's starting to clear the air a bit so we can see what things are for real.
And much like Harvey Weinstein, she threatened the women, Bill's women. She threatened.
Yeah.
So her behavior is not much different.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And we're not finished hearing about any of this. I mean, who's going to go next? Who will we wake up tomorrow and be talking about that loses their job? And, there's still a lot more moving forward about Bill Clinton.
Right.
Okay, you've got a documentary about his sexual infidelity coming out on what you sent it to me. Was it CNN?
Yeah, I'm not even sure.
And I mean, it's surprising because the Clinton News Network is now turning on the Clintons. But Monica Lewinsky says it's bull, right?
Yeah, okay.
Because she never felt like a victim.
Yeah, she was a willing victim.
Right. Now, I wonder if later on when she was threatened, if she felt like a victim then, but that's another story for another day.
Right.
Nevertheless, this isn't over.
No, it seems like you said, every day there's a few names that pop on that list, and it just keeps growing and growing.
And it's very sad to think that some of these people had such stellar careers. Charlie Rose, Matt Lauer, Bill O'Reilly. These were people we trusted to bring us the story.
Right. Instead, what was really going on is they were grabbing.
They were, and they were a bunch of head cases.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really sad.
Yeah, it definitely is. We do agree there.
We do, and we don't always agree, but life's a journey, and we're all in this together. Remember, do not become a victim. #nobody's victim. Thanks for listening. Godspeed, Connor, and Godspeed to all of our friends out there.
Godspeed, Grace, and thanks for listening, everybody.
Dueling Dialogues is brought to you by our affiliates at IX Web Hosting. Click the banner on the right leftchronicles.com to get up to 40% off your first year of the best hosting on the planet. Today's episode of Dueling Dialogue is brought to you by Saucy Eva. GMA's marinade is coming soon to a plate near you to gourmetize your meats and proteins.